with people on TikTok. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about agriculture. Remember last time we were talking about the food industry and the lies and the food industry and the processing of foods. What basically happened to the foods that we consume. So we differentiated nutrition from food science, and we understood that most people are always focused on nutrition, but they are not focused on the food science. And we understood that food science, it's what happens to food or food products from the soil into your mouth, and nutrition is what happens from the mouth all the way to the cellular level. So once you understand that, you're good to go. You become a doctor on your own. Tonight we are going to expand a little bit, because remember we said 4 things that mess us up. 1 is the food industry, 2 is agriculture and modern farming and modern agriculture, 3 is the media, and 4 is the pharmaceutical companies, aka the big pharma. So tonight I'm going to handle the second part of this, because I remember when I was doing this live on the deadly complex, they kept on turning it down. We never finished the live on the deadly complex, the 4: agriculture, food industry, the media, and pharmaceutical companies of the big pharma. So we decided to tackle each of these organs differently and separately. And last time we talked about the food industry. Tonight we're talking about agriculture and how modern agriculture totally messed us up. You remember very well how we used to store our seeds to be used for the next planting season. You remember very well the manures. You remember the compost site or the composition methods that we used to do even in primary school when we were growing up. There was a subject called science and agriculture. I don't know why they took it out. And now we couldn't know how to actually make, including traditional pesticides. Did you guys use ashes as pesticides on Sukuma Wiki? So there are things that we're going to talk about on agriculture and where we went wrong. How did we end up where we are at this moment in time, being exposed so much to food products that are actually making us messed up in terms of health? And how did we go astray? Where did the rain start beating us, so that we go back and redo these things? And I told you that the best thing you should do to yourself, if you have a job or a payslip, buy land. Buy land. Buy land. Nunua shamba. Stop bargaining. Buy land. Buy your freedom through buying a piece of land. Nutrition is important to you. Food science is important to you. Buy that land and start having your freedom from the government and regulations of the government. Because if you don't buy land, you're going to get into problems. They will dictate what you eat, and whoever feeds you controls you. All right. So tonight, that is the topic of the night. So as you join in, tell us where you're joining us from, so that we can actually shout you out. Thank you so much, Team Kekeli, for sharing the live. It's amazing to have people like you who actually are interested in the growth of the platform. As you join in, be kind enough to just like the live. It doesn't cost you anything to like the live or even share the live on your platforms. In that WhatsApp group, let them get used to you as that person who shares Dr. Lewi's videos every time. Watching from Malawi, that is Mr. Mani. I see you in the building. I see Halima Hussein. How are you, Halima? Hello, streaming live from Doha. This is Cindy Magati. Hey, Doha Tupo. I see Anna Odur. Good evening, everyone. Where is Kevin? Hey, there's somebody calls, where is Kevin? Hey, he's number 1 in the building. I see Stevo Lillian. All right, from Kiambu. I see Joab Oboge, hapa ni nyumbani. Straight from UK, United of Kisumu. All right, I see, who else? I see Nzembi the Queen. I see Vinny Amaheno from Kachmeka. Mbolamuri, the bullfighters. Fed B, I see you. This is Fed B saying, hello, I made the live. Yay for me. I'm always behind watching downloads after the fact. Oh, amazing. Nice to have you here, brother or sister. Karibu sana. Jen Mwendo is in the building. Waidira, hellos. Juja South, Kalimoni, well represented. Amazing, Waidira. Fed is from Mwega, Nyeri. Mudoni the Boo is in the building. Elizabeth Seske, Adesua I rise. J Opande is in the building. I see Daniel Lichuma, always from Samburu, Kwale County. I see Roslinda Wanesuna. Oh, Viunasuna. Lillian Ayako is in the building. Nightmares. Hi. We have nightmares in the building. 𝗗𝗘𝗥𝗡 is in the building. I see Hassan Maalim. Welcome on board, Hassan. I see who else is here. Traveling through time. Hey. Halima is from Mandera. Imagine that. People in Mandera are now in the building, locked in. The internet is very interesting. It brings us all together in a very short period of time. Rose Francis, I see you from England. Elizabeth from Nakuru. Jenny Doreen from Juja. John Mwirichia from Gong. This is traveling through time. Hello, Doc. I recently fasted and decided to go and do a checkup, and the docs found ketones +++. Well done. I hope they did not tell you you're going to get into DKA, and now they want to give you insulin. No. When you're fasting, you're into the ketotic stage. Therefore, you expect your ketone bodies to go up. So yes, ketones in urine will be up +++. Well done. That is the ketotic stage. Mukire Yvonne, watching from Meru, Nkobo. Amazing. Hassan Malin from Saudi. Mkenya, Australia, watching from Australia. Amazing. The land of kangaroos. Joe Maragu from Theka 237 is in the building. Warsaw City, watching from Nakuru. John Chege from Nairobi. Abdiaziz from the back bench. And here, let me see on TikTok. We have Cindy's in the building. I see. The internet should fix the gut. Hey, I'm gonna buy my friend. Wanjaus, I see you. I see Med Marvin. Hey, TikTok people have names. Kerubo Mary, I see you. I see Waidira Wamugunda. Wairima Wamugunda, sorry. Child of God, I see you. Team Kekeli is in the building. Kings. I see all of you. Angela Mdoni, I see you. I see Ivy Peter. I see Waziri. Hey. Karanja Logendi, watching from Roiro. Douglas Mwiti from Roy Sambu. TRM. Allah. Dagi, how are you? Dagi Lazim's in the building, brother. How are you, brother? Amazing. Nice to have you here, bro. Osolo Media is from Nairobi, and Karanja Logendi is from Roiro. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump into it. From Moyale, Ethiopia, Northern Gallery. Amazing. Northern Gallery, I see you, brother. Welcome on board, brother. Safia Aden from United States of A. Topic of the day, Doc. Topic of the day is modern agriculture. How did we end up where we are? And unfortunately, or apparently, or fortunately, from Kisumu Lin, I see you. From Zambia, Sikachepa. Unfortunately, or fortunately, or somehow, some way, the fruit conversation will always crop up when you're talking about modern agriculture, when you're talking about sugars, when you're talking about GMOs. There is always a way the fruits business and the fruits aspect of life comes in. It will always come here. So therefore, when I say no fruits, I mean it. Except avocados. I mean it. When I say go ahead and consume, what are they called? The traditional fruits, which most of you don't even have access to. If you want to know how fruits behave, have a land, have a farm, and grow them. You will see how they behave. You will realize that you totally got messed up. Okay? Yes. So tonight we're talking about modern agriculture, how it messed us up. Now, straight into it. Welcome on board. Sit back and enjoy the life. If you can, share it. All right? All right. So let's go into it. Now, agriculture has never been a problem. We never had problems with agriculture. We never had problems with food production. No, we didn't. But as populations went on increasing, problems started coming in. And now we allowed the institutions that are actually holding us back to come in and start messing us up. They came in and lied to us that, you know what, for us to improve food productivity, we must do this to the soil. We must bring in pesticides. We must bring in herbicides. We must bring in genetically modified seeds so that we can actually increase productivity. For the GMOs, no problem. We don't have a problem with genetically modified products or foods. However, why GMO? Why? Why GMO? That's a question. Is it because we want to increase just food productivity? Is that the only reason? And I want to show you how the agriculture, the modern agriculture industry, has made us so lazy. because now everything is industrialized. So we've become so lazy. Machines are doing everything. Now human beings are becoming more of zombies. A simple case like weeding, a simple just activity like weeding has disappeared. Now we must use herbicides. Imagine that. Simple things like pruning, kupalilia is no longer there. Now what do? We have machines do all these things for us. And for us to avoid some of these things, we will use fertilizers. But we don't want to go the longer way we used manure before. We're not patient enough to wait for cow dung, right? So we become super zombies in terms of agriculture and even activity. So the same modernization of agriculture has made you a zombie, has made you very lazy, therefore reduced activity. So now you have just to sit in an office, do stuff in an office. When you go to your farm, you're going to the farm on a tractor. So therefore there's no more farming or digging. Now there's a tractor. Now after that, you'll use the same tractor to actually plant, and then the same tractor to come in and spray chemicals on those food products. And the residues are there in the foods nowadays. Exposure to these chemicals is there nowadays. So by the time you're actually going to hospital, this is the problem with men also. By the time a man is going to a hospital, it is worse. It's getting so worse, he can't stand it. He's actually almost dying. That's when men are going to hospitals. At least for women, they go to hospitals for checkups. They check out their breasts and do these things. They do basically annual checkups. Most of them are filled by women and ladies, because ladies seem to be very cautious about pain. A slight pain in their system, they are running to their doctor. A slight discomfort, they are running to the hospital. So they get these checkups. That's why even the thyroid problems that are actually estrogen disruption, or even the thyroid hormone disruption, is coming in as a result of these chemicals. And men will always come to hospitals late. By the time you're being diagnosed of a thyroid disease, hey, you've actually tried so much. You've actually tried to take every single thing apart from coming to hospitals, which is a good thing too also, because modern hospitals are also interested in profit. So anytime you go to hospital, there's no consultation. You're just going in. You can't consult anything and just get out without medication. There must be a prescription for every consultation. That is messing us up. So now, number one, on modern agriculture. Because remember, agriculture is the base, including the raw materials that are going into the food industry. Agriculture is actually the one providing it. So imagine agriculture, when we mess at the base, we've messed everything up. But the beauty about this is, or the weird story around this is the complex four, the deadly complex. Agriculture starts, produces these raw materials, and all the chemicals that are actually used in agriculture are actually marketed to you by number two, the media. So the media markets agricultural chemicals and products. These rich organizations and companies that produce fertilizers, that produce GMO seeds, they're the ones that actually use the media. They fund the media, so they use the media to manipulate people. Now the media will sell you the idea, because when you see that, when you see vaccination on TV, when you see antibiotics used in animals on TV, when you hear on your radio that there's a vaccination program that is coming in through the government, when you hear that there's new fertilizer, and most of you actually suffered this when you got the fake fertilizers and you're sold expensive fertilizers that were just sand. So what they do is they sell this idea to you through the media. Once they sell this idea through the media, they come in and lie to you that they are educating you. So those people from the West coming in through Bill Gates and going to Ukambani to educate farmers about how to cultivate tomatoes. Did you see that? They are there bringing you, oh, this is the new technology in tomato farming. If you want more tomatoes and more yield per acre of land, this is what you should do. They bring you their information, and you drop your information so fast, because Africans, whatever a European or a white person says, we follow without obligation. We follow without objection. So the media convinces you totally that, you know what, this is the right thing to do. In my Luya nation, you will see people with radios on their ears every evening listening to the news. I can't remember the last time I watched TV for news. I can't remember. So I think I'm so old school that sometimes news just gets out of my head totally. I don't know how I survive without the news. What will happen if you don't listen to the news, or if you don't watch news? What do you think will happen to you? If there's nothing that will happen to you, why are you watching news? I've not died because I've not watched TV. Somehow, some way, information will get to you. There was a time media was not as active as it is now. But you used to get the news, right? So what will happen to you if you don't watch the TV? Why do you have a 70-inch TV in your sitting room, another 70-inch TV in your bedroom? For what reason? Why do you want to watch news? What is new to you that is being reported? Anyway, so the media markets this, and then they come in. Once we buy them, we all dropped our seeds, our traditional seeds, and we rush to take you call them the hybrid, right? The hybrid seeds that don't even regrow. So these guys were so sure that you will drop this because they've marketed it, and marketing is a very important tool in business. If you never stop marketing, if you have any business, never stop marketing. So they marketed this, and you dropped your traditional seeds and traditional ways of preserving the seed. In my language, that seed is called 𝗚𝗚. 𝗚𝗚 means this is what you're going to use for the next planting season. The seeds that you have preserved, the high quality seeds that will be used for the next planting season. So there's a way we used to take the bigger maize and we dry them on the roof of the iron sheets. They dry, and then we save them somewhere in a kitchen where there's some smoke or something. And then during the planting season, we simply take them and we soak them overnight. And the following morning, we are into the farm planting them. They grow so fast. They were resistant to even harsh weathers and insects. But we dropped that because they marketed something to us. And then we rushed to go and take what? Of course, to go and take the hybrid seeds. That when you plant them once, they cannot regrow. Therefore, you must be always going back to them to actually order for more. That's how they survive. They make sure they kill your seeds, and now they supply you with their seeds that they do not regrow. So the first harvest, of course, you'll make a lot of, you'll produce a lot of the maize and the produce. And once you see that, quick in your head, you're thinking, this is the way to go. Now, the next time you try to plant them, nothing is coming in. That will mean you'll have to go back to the same person who sold you those maize, those seeds. And that's how we become slaves. And now they are feeding us. So if they are feeding you, you are a slave to them. Because whoever feeds you controls you. So then these seeds are marketed again through the media. We buy them, we plant them. And then after planting them, guess what? We harvest and we take it to the Kenya National Produce and Cereals and Produce Board, where they will just rot as they import cornstarch from Mexico to make the unga that is being made in the industries, the one that you take on the shelves. So as you're thinking the maize that was taken into the cereals board is what is being used to make that unga that you're using, you're wasting time. That is cornstarch coming from Mexico through the sea. Remember the saga for unga? The unga that came from Mexico? Do you remember when our esteemed Kawongo was hey, Kawongo is everywhere. Just like the fruits, he's everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, so cornstarch, but your maize is busy rotting in the cereals board. How then is this maize rotting here, yet we don't have flour in the market? Thank God in this platform we don't eat ugali, right? We don't encourage consumption of ugali. So thank God. If they complain about unga and all that, we are not there. We are here learning something new. So then, that is what is happening. Now, next is the media will actually say, do you see how the media sells you the lie? So they sold you the GMO foods. Now they come in and pretend that they're actually exposing the ill nature of the KCPB, the Kenya Cereals and Produce Board. Oh, you know, there's maize that was coming from this cereals board and it has aflatoxin. And aflatoxin has killed 6 people in Ukambani. Oh, when you just see that, you're like, yeah. So now we have a problem. Of course, they have now captured your mind. Now the fear is sold successfully. The same media will be used by pharmaceutical companies to market the solution for aflatoxin poisoning. The media plays you big time. Your favorite news anchor plays you big time, just like your politician. They play you big time. So today they are selling you fear, tomorrow they are selling you a solution. They are playing double. Is it the devil's advocate? They are here marketing the problem and selling you the fear. And then they are here marketing you the solution. But they are being paid for both. So every single one of them, they are making profits. And then again, they are selling you the magazines, the newspapers. And you're the first one to take the newspaper at 5 in the morning. You want to read the headlines and the newspapers. You want to be updated, right? You just didn't know that they are being funded. How would they survive without the funding? So number one mess in agriculture, modern agriculture to be specific, is the pesticides. Pesticides and herbicides. Traditionally, you used ash for the pesticide. right? On sukuma wiki, we will spray some ash, and boop, the weevils are gone. On maize, we'll put in some things, maybe some ash, and mix with the maize as they dry up, and the weevils are gone. But now what do we use? We need glyphosate, right? There's a company called, is it Monsanto, selling you the pesticides and the fertilizers at the same time. So now we have organophosphates that are causing a lot of poisoning, slow poisoning. We have the glyphosate that is coming in to disrupt hormones in women, coming in to destroy your skin, to cause some cancers. We have something called neonicotinoids. Don't cram that name. At least you can simply mention the glyphosates and organophosphates. It's an easy one, but these are basically the poisons. And these things are exposing people to cancer. These things are exposing people to Parkinson's disease and brain damage, respiratory issues in children, and those people who are actually working in those farms, spraying these chemicals. They're getting exposure through the skin contact. They are breathing it in, even though they have these fake masks that they are thinking they are protecting you. How about the contact on the skin? How about the residues that will remain in the food when you're eating them? Slow poisons. Slow poisons. Endocrine disruptors. Glyphosate is so well known to cause hormonal imbalance in women. And that word hormonal imbalance is so obvious in hospitals nowadays. Every guy is saying, oh, this woman has hormonal imbalance, hormonal imbalance. And then what is the reason why behind the hormonal imbalance? Nobody says it. And they are quick to give you a 3-month cycle of what? A hormonal contraceptive. More problems. My gyna, hormonal contraceptives. My gyna told me, my gyna told me I have a hormonal imbalance. What is this imbalance he's talking about? Why don't he just tell you this is estrogen dominance, high estrogen levels? So then he puts you on contraceptives, which are hormonal, they have high content of estrogen problems. So these pesticides and herbicides is a serious problem in healthcare. Traditionally, we used to weed them ourselves. We used to just remove the weeds and we feed these weeds to the cows. Right? Weeding was a practice actually taught in school. But nowadays, I hope the CBC is actually bringing it back. All right? So inhalation, skin contact, and the residues in foods that are coming in from these chemicals is a serious problem. You might not experience it now, but it will come. Number 2, in livestock. So this is in the farm where we are planting the maize, the wheat, and all that. Number 2, a serious challenge here is antibiotics in livestock and animals. How many of us have seen it multiple times that the government is promoting vaccination in livestock, the government is promoting use of antibiotics in livestock, and overuse of these antibiotics in these animals? Of course, we are going to get that exposure. Remember, there's something called antimicrobial resistance and antibiotic resistance. So antibiotics in livestock, constant use of antibiotics in livestock, in poultry, because those chicken that, imagine chicken was designed to fly out, to eat grass, to eat grains, worms, and all over. It was supposed to be outdoor. Then later on, they come back indoors in the evening. Shout out to my Luya people who do a very good job on this one. But Luya people are also becoming modern. So chicken were designed to be free range. But now we decide, let's put this chicken in one place. Let's stress this chicken so much. Let's give them steroids. Let's feed them with estrogen to fatten, so that we feed the appetite that is coming from the food industry. Chipomuitu, kuku mnaita kukupono, the one that is rotating in the glass, the naked chicken. So the appetite that is coming from that food industry, and you walk in town and see every parlor that is selling French fries and chicken is already full, always full. At lunch hour, because we are feeding our dopamine, seed oils, French fries, chicken that is not even chicken. The broilers, fed with estrogen, fed with steroids. How can a chicken grow from a chick to a whole-grown chicken, a full-blown chicken, in 28 days? Now, because they are strained in one area and they are pooping and there's a lot of dirt coming in, they are mixing the poop with water. So what they do is, in the drinking water of this chicken, they put in tetracyclines. Sometimes they are amoxicillins. There was a time they were even using the antiretroviral drugs to fatten chicken. Anti-TB drugs being abused to fatten the chicken. So now all these antimicrobials that are actually being put in water so that the chicken takes to prevent diseases in chicken. When you eat the chicken, what are you getting? Small doses of this medication, specifically antibiotics, so slow doses of antibiotics. And when you eat and consume small doses of antibiotics, they are substandard. And remember, all of us have bacteria in our system. We have microorganisms in our gut. We have some of these bacteria accessing the blood. We have bacteria on our skin and all that. So therefore, once we consume these antibiotics in substandard doses through the chicken, what happens is we are exposing ourselves to that, and these substandard doses are going to cause resistance. The bacteria in our system are going to now mutate. When they undergo mutations, they produce species that are resistant to antibiotics. Now, when you have pneumonia, how will you treat it? Now, when you have brucellosis, how do you treat it? When you have cholera and typhoid, how do you treat it when antibiotics are actually being resistant? Now, you're allowing the healthcare system now to give you the antibiotics that are reserved when all other antibiotics are failing. The likes of vancomycin, the likes of what? The chloramphenicals nowadays, the likes of the imipenems and meropenems. These are antibiotics that are supposed to be reserved when all other antibiotics have failed. And these are very expensive antibiotics. That is one. So they will increase the cost of healthcare. Number two, these antibiotics are highly toxic to the kidneys and the liver. That's why they are reserved for the worst. So as you eat that chicken that is rotating in that screen, you're going to get into problems. As now, where we have a serious problem is in the meat. Because nowadays we can't control the quality of meat. We can't, because now if they've been given antibiotics, the cows, the camels have been given tetracyclines all the time, what do you expect? You expect yourself to get an exposure to these tetracyclines in lower doses. And now antimicrobial resistance comes in. How will you manage that recurrent UTI that you're having? How? It becomes a serious problem, right? So antibiotics in livestock and poultry is a serious problem. Those doses of those antibiotics in your gut, they will disrupt the normal flora in your gut. They will destroy both the good and the bad bacteria in your gut. And now we have a gut mess. And you know very well that this tube is the most important tube when you're trying to reverse any health condition. So when that tube is messed up, what do you expect? Malnutrition, you expect chronic inflammation, you expect metabolic disorders, right? You expect mental health issues because the brain is connected to the gut. There's a direct link between the two. Once you do that, my friend, problems. And now, instead of fixing these causes and trying to actually educate the masses about these problems, we will rather allow you to go ahead and eat those things. But later on, we'll bring you a solution which will be marketed to you through the media. The same media that was actually selling you fear about you must vaccinate your livestock. You must. If you don't do this, the government will actually come for you. So the government uses the media to actually control you. Some of these politics that you people are following all the time are actually designed to actually play with your emotions, because when you're emotionally unstable, your politician is winning. You see, when we are angry, the moment you're just angry at your politician, he's winning. You think your anger is going to change things? No. Your wise voting without emotions is going to change things. But you just being angry, they love your anger. They love you being unstable, because through that, they can easily sell you a small solution, and of course, you'll run to it. Look at us now. We don't have any person who is a candidate for the presidency, but we really want to kick out the president, right? So at this moment in time, we don't care about who will bring in next, as long as we kick out the president. That's an emotional move. So we are always emotional. And the more emotional you are, the more they are surviving. All right? So do not, metabolic conditions, inflammatory conditions, mental health issues are coming in from a messed up gut as a result of us consuming these low doses of antibiotics through the livestock, through the poultry that are coming in to mess up our guts. And then we start thinking, how did we end up here? Now you start taking antidepressants, which will cause you more depression. They'll cause you suicidal thoughts. Therefore, fasting comes in handy in these. Some of these things you can actually solve through fasting. So fasting is a survival mechanism to come in and at least help you clean up the system generally. So if somebody who doesn't fast, it's time for you to start fasting. Number 3, heavy metal contamination. Heavy metal contamination. The arsenics, the lead. And guess where these are coming from? 1, fertilizers. I was looking at that story of fertilizers and the fake fertilizers, the scam. And I was just laughing, because how brainwashed are we to think that we really need that fertilizer? Maybe for those people who want to grow things in 𝗛𝗘𝗔𝗟𝗧𝗛 and all those areas that they want to produce massively, but they just didn't know that they're actually getting into a serious mess. If any case, we are doing monocropping. We're just planting maize the whole year. Maize, 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 maize. And then the next season, groundnuts, groundnuts, ground. Actually, do we really plant groundnuts nowadays? If it's not maize, it's wheat. If it's not wheat, it's sugarcane. So the whole year we're just bringing in very, very useless foods. So fertilizers, the sewage from industries, and the sewage from your toilets. Sometimes I really wonder where these exhausters take those sewage to. I see them just taking the stool, but I don't know where they take it to. But sometimes if you walk to Dandora, the dump site, my friend, you'll be so scared of yourself. Nowadays, even if you look at Nairobi River, you're so scared. Nairobi River looks a mess. And it has become so political. There's a lady who was appointed to head the board or to be the chair lady of this thing to clean Nairobi River, and she refused. The lady who was selling bed sheets and just became rich for just shaking the behinds on political platforms. You remember her? The lady who just grew rich for shaking her behind in political rallies. She's obese like crazy. Anyway, so Kenya. Kenya is a special country. If you guys can vote in Uganda, anyway, arsenic, cadmium, and lead. These are very, very obvious heavy metal poisons that are coming in every other time. Now, for ladies, arsenic is part of the things or raw materials that are actually part of the heavy metals that is found in the tampons. So ladies, as you insert that tampon because you want to be raining, you call it raining, yeah? I'm raining. So as you want to rain and go to the swimming pool and then you insert a tampon, arsenic is coming in. That is a heavy metal poisoning. Your kidneys are being compromised. Cancers are coming in later on. So use a pad. Use a normal pad. Use a normal pad. And we exposed the lady, the musician lady, the gospel artist. Is she still gospel artist? Who is actually a brand ambassador for soft care. Yeah? Soft care is messing women up. And she's there telling you, oh, you know what, this is the best. On billboard, she's there. What is her name? Size what? She's size what? I don't know. Kenya leo mtu analala ni size 2, kesho ni size 4. Kesho yake hana size. Na gospel artist, right? You know them. So arsenic, cadmium, and lead coming in with fertilizers and the sewage that is actually being channeled into the waters that we use for irrigation. Kidney failure, the cancers, and neurological damage, the nerve damage. Therefore, again, mental health issues are coming in handy. You see that? So some of these things that we're actually getting into, we don't even have control over that. You see that? Some of these things, we actually were messed by the system and we can't even understand them. So therefore, we can do what we can do to prevent these conditions. But of course, the government, the institutions that are regulatory bodies, international businesses and multi-billion-dollar industries, the food industries, are actually coming in to mess us even further. And I tell you for free, there's nothing you can do about these things. We are too small for these people. We are too small for them. So the only thing we can do at this moment in time is to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, okay? Do what you can do. If it's time for fasting, go ahead and fast. If you eat 1 meal a day, trust me, you are safer than anybody else who eats 4 meals a day and still snacks in between. You're way too safe for them. Let them call you a person who is always in a cult. Be in a cult. But be in a cult that actually makes you a better person, okay? Number 4. So number 1 was pesticides and herbicides. Number 2 was antibiotics in poultry and livestock. Number 3, heavy metal contamination. Number 4, monoculture. Monoculture and nutrient depletion. Now realize this. On monoculture, do you know, or do you actually, if you're observant, you'll see. Sometimes I go through Nakuru and Joro, and I see very, very large farms that are planted with wheat. And Narok also. Just wheat alone. When you go into Kitale, you just see farms that have all maize. You see that? All maize. But you know very well, in your small farm in the village, your grandmother or even your parents used to cultivate maize and they use beans again. So maize and beans this season. Next season, they're doing something else. This was intentional because it used to break the cycle of pests and herbs. The herbicides that are, not herbicides, the weeds. You see that? So it used to break this cycle. You know, pests have a cycle. They know. They even have a life cycle, right? So during that life cycle, they actually are calculative because they have to survive. So are the weeds. So monocultivation or monoculture, basically planting one type of crop every time, becomes so predictable to the cycle of these pests and these weeds. And now, of course, because of that, they will sell you. There was an advert on TV that was talking about, oh, hii dawa inamaliza viwavi. Viwavi are the caterpillars or the larvae that grow up into butterflies. So they will sell you those chemicals as pesticides and as herbicides. But you know, you can simply do crop rotation. Once you do crop rotation, you've broken the cycle of these microorganisms. It becomes safer for you because crop rotation will actually make sure you have different produce at the end of the season of harvesting, and also it will break the cycle of this, both the weeds and the pests. We are safer that way, aren't we? But we want to produce maize in large scale. We want to produce wheat in large scale. Why? Because we are sure that this maize is going to sell because people are addicts to ugali. We are sure that wheat is going to sell because the food industry is totally in need of more wheat. We know Irish potatoes are going to sell because there's KFC, there's McDonald's, there's Chicken Inn. There are all these parlors, and Mama Chipo outside your gate is making chips. So we are going to feed the appetite coming from these things, from these industries, if at all we cultivate Irish potatoes. So it's year in, year out, Irish potatoes, Irish potatoes. But have you ever asked yourself, how is it possible that Irish potatoes are grown on a large scale and then they are sprayed with herbicides to clear weeds, but yet the top part of the Irish potato is actually a herb, it's actually a weed, it's a plant, but the herbicides cannot destroy it. The herbicides are so specific to the weeds that are coming in, but not the plant of the Irish potato. Have you ever asked yourself why? It's because the Irish potato is the most adulterated starch on this surface of the internet, or this surface of the world. And they do that so that the herbicides can actually sell, and you still get maximum produce from the same part of land, or the piece of land. And now you can easily feed in the food industry, and now you make small amount of money that will still go back to them through medications. You see that? It's a whole cycle of a mess. Very, very well calculated, but a whole mess. A whole mess. And they do it so well because we don't read. We are not able to read and educate ourselves because Africans, until we wake up, we can sing here every single day, but Africans don't like reading. They like criticizing because criticism does not require any creativity. So because of our nature of being critics all the time, we don't even have any creativity. Serious problem. Anyway, allow me to market my products on this one. Let me take a break and market some things here. One, I am live on YouTube right now, Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube. I have another platform on YouTube that we run shows on Friday. They are called Identity Fridays. It's called 𝗓𝗄𝗔𝗟𝗧𝗛. So two platforms on YouTube. One is Health and Wellness Spot, strictly for health content. The second one is 𝗓𝗄𝗔𝗟𝗧𝗛, Friday nights, Identity Fridays. So go and subscribe on both channels. I have a page on Facebook called Lewis Muchile, same to Instagram, Lewis Muchile, same to X. I have a page on Telegram, very, very great page where we share information without fear of any contradiction and without having to hold back information. It's called Health and Wellness Spot on Telegram. So you just go there and search Health and Wellness Spot, you'll find it there. Join those platforms so that any information that we have comes to you free, so that you can actually read and educate yourself. But do not join those platforms if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to actually read, because there we cultivate the culture of reading, exercise, fasting, and eating clean. So be part of those nations so that you can actually be safe. Number two, we have merchandise that we sell that help us promote this platform. So one, they help us grow as a channel. Two, there's a lot of people involved in that merchandise. Before you get the fermented cabbage, there's a chain of production of that cabbage. So you're not only promoting the channel, because whatever goes to the channel is very minimal. You're promoting a lot of families that are actually being involved, because we actually take people to make these things. We actually use human labor, to make these things. So when you buy one fermented cabbage, you're not buying it from Levy's, no, Dr. Levy's, no. You're actually supporting a lot of families behind that, and that's the beauty about this, because we want to grow all of us together and support each other. All right? And if you're on these platforms and you're watching this content for free, it's only fair that you tap the screen or you actually like the live and share it so that other people can actually get the privilege that you're actually getting for free. So thank you for that. So we have fermented cabbages, we have roasted and grounded coffee. It's not instant coffee, so therefore we must brew it. Very, very awesome coffee. We have activated charcoal. We have t-shirts. We have mugs, the cups like this, and we have the mugs, the water bottles, the long ones that are looking so beautiful. Beautiful stuff. You can call Brian on 0701 354 997. So Brian's contact, I'll put it on YouTube. 0701 354 997. Do not call now, please call tomorrow. He operates from around 9 a.m. all the way to around 6 p.m. So you can make a call and just drop at Imenti House and pick your stuff. So our collection zone is either my office in Lavington or Imenti House, second floor, shop number 60. Call that gentleman called Brian Omwenga. He's going to sort you out. Okay, good. Again, we have a weight loss program that is starting on 15th of this month. I think it's Thursday. So that weight loss program is starting on the 15th of this month. It's a 3-month program. Now, if you've never joined a weight loss program, you should see people who are there. That is not a weight loss program. That is actually a holistic approach of healthcare, and secondary to it, you lose weight. So we teach you things, aspects on spiritual being. We help you fix your spiritual self. We help you develop your confidence in yourself. We help you understand how to lose weight, nutrition, exercise, fasting. We combine all that. And then we teach you on how to maintain the lost weight, because most people, they lose weight, yes, but maintaining the lost weight is not a problem. So we will teach you how to lose weight, secondary to leading a healthy life. And that is the only way you will know how to maintain the lost weight. Most weight loss programs will allow you to just go after losing the weight. Now they release you, and then you go back and you put up so much weight. But we don't do that. We support you after the program. We do make sure that you have maintained and developed specific discipline that will take you through life. So what we are teaching you is not just for the weight loss. It's actually a holistic approach of life and how you should lead your life. And then when your family joins in, it becomes so much interesting, and you avoid healthcare costs. Hospital guests will never see you. Those people in those groups are the ones who receive information the first. Before you guys get all the other information, they have gotten it the first people. And then we have programs, for example, we have online consultations and physical consultations. So the last week of the month and the first week of the month, we are always in Nairobi trying to change your life for the better. So we bring healthcare at your doorstep. Now we have a consultancy in Nairobi, and our offices are in Nairobi. So this month, May, our consultations will start from the 26th all the way to the 7th of June. So 26th of May all the way to the 7th of June. Now, most of you will want to come in later on when I'm leaving Nairobi. It's not going to help. You can book your appointment as early as this so that you can actually be booked and scheduled. And please, those people who book an appointment and then you wait for about 30 minutes to cancel the appointment, you are being so unfair, and that should actually attract a punishment, right? Should attract a fine for you. Because there's no way you can book an appointment. We schedule an appointment for you because we have 1-hour appointments. And then either you decide to come in late and you want to reschedule, or you realize I'm not going to make it 30 minutes to the appointment. That doesn't make sense at all. So as you book it, be very, very cautious about it. Give us the time that you really want to be allocated so that we give you that time, because you will make it at that time. Because that's what we do. We allocate you the time that you actually need. So from the 26th of May all the way to the 26th of May all the way to the 6th of June, we'll be in Nairobi changing your life for the better. So start booking those appointments now. And the office contact is always available on my videos. And I think Kekeli has pinned it on TikTok. It is 0707 07 47 22. That is the contact that you can use. Let me just make this happen. Good. So 0707 07 47 22. That is the contact you can use to book either an online consultation that happens every evening after I leave my workplace, or the physical consultation that happens in Nairobi the last week of the month and the first week of the month. So you can use those contacts to actually book your appointment. Send a WhatsApp message, don't call, because there's a lot of calls coming in. I don't know why you people do that though. Simply follow the instructions. Be grown enough. Follow instructions. Simply send a text on WhatsApp. You'll be responded to, and then you'll be booked, and then you and I will have a good conversation, either online through a WhatsApp call or whichever platform you prefer, and a physical consultation that we are totally available physically in Nairobi. So you can come in and let's have these good conversations. They are life-changing, right? Yes, and remember, you are never late for healthcare. So the weight loss program starts on 15th. That is possibly on Thursday. So you have 3 days to actually book in. Use the same contact, the 0707 0747 22. All right, amazing. All right, so we've covered up to monoculture. And monoculture is actually the reason why we have all these problems in nutrition, because you're just planting the same crop every other time, wheat, and you're feeding the food industry, and the food industry is processing it even further. So we've made wheat to become GMO, because wheat used to be very tall, about 10 feet until the stalks break. But now we are at a place where wheat is no longer making sense, because wheat is now about 2 feet or so. Is it 2 feet or, yeah, about 2 feet. And we've increased productivity per acre of land, but we've made it less nutritional. So yes, it's coming from the soil already messed up, sprayed with herbicides that have destroyed even the ecology. There's killed the natural microorganisms in the soil. It has destroyed the soil structure and leached out nutrients in the soil. And now we've sprayed with pesticides, herbicides. We do irrigation that leaches out nutrients from the soil. So by the time the wheat is coming into the food industry, it's already messed up. And then the food industry goes ahead and messes it even further, processes it and adds more chemicals and removes even the fiber and lies to you. You know what? We remove the fiber, now we've fortified it. So on the label they write fortified with vitamin E, fortified with all this, fortified with whatever. But ideally, this is supposed to be naturally occurring in the wheat, naturally occurring in the maize. So why would you remove it, make flour, and then that flour you fortify it? And a secret to you, ladies and gentlemen who are here. One, that supplement company that you love is actually part of the food industry. It's actually part of this organization. So actually we have 5 deadly complex. We will say agriculture, we will say the media, we will say the food industry, the pharmaceutical companies, and the supplement industries. So the same nutrients that are actually extracted from these foods are the ones that the same that are synthesized in the lab, so that the supplement industry benefits, right? So as you send those 23,000 shillings to that supplement industry to bring you the new stock for supplements, you're wasting time. There is no supplement that is not available in food. You can actually get all supplements in food. Be serious about it. Simply start fixing the gut first. Heal the gut. Once you heal the gut will pick all the supplements from the food. You will not need the coenzyme Q10 for the heart. And this is just a mess, by the way. Those people who are taking the coenzyme Q10, the CQ10, for heart function, believe me, if you're on a statin, drugs that are lowering cholesterol, you cannot outdo that. Those statins, they lower that enzyme that is cardioprotective. It protects the heart. The coenzymes Q10. So when you go ahead and purchase that supplement, you're taking it at the same time you're taking a statin, a waste of your time. A waste of your time. So that company that you're trusting, it's coming in to bring solutions in terms of, I don't have nutrients, I don't have vitamins. And what they do, they put your palm on a machine. And that machine will automatically, because they are in business, that machine will automatically show you there's a deficiency in magnesium, a deficiency in calcium, a deficiency in vitamin K or vitamin D. You think you can go there, put your hand on that thing, and it shows you have everything in check. I really pity you when you're putting your fingers on that machine to show you how much elements or electrolytes and how much vitamins are in your system. It's a lie of the year. A lie of the year. There's no machine that can actually simply detect every vitamin and every mineral in your system by just putting a palm on that machine. It's a lie. They are in business. So if any case, you can decide to do it with 2 different companies and see, the results will be very different. Because this one will tell you have low magnesium, therefore they have to give you magnesium supplement, because the end of that program is they have supplements. That's why they put that machine there, to convince you that you actually have low minerals and low vitamins, and now they can sell you the supplements that they have. So their business is not diagnosing you with low minerals or low vitamins, no. They are not in the business of diagnosing you with low or deficiency of vitamins. They are in the business of selling you vitamins. Therefore, they must make sure that you are deficient. They must make sure. So the machines are there to actually confirm that you are being stupid. You put your hand there and you're like, so I'm low in magnesium. Maybe that's the reason why I have this fatigue. Oh, I have palpitations. Maybe that's why I have this recurrent UTI. I have low vitamin D. My immunity is going down. No, you're eating sugar. You're an addict of wheat. Therefore, you are unable. You're not even eating fatty meat. So where are you going to get cholesterol that is going to be used to synthesize vitamin D from? It is your problem. Your diet is a mess. Fix the diet. Don't rely on putting your hand on anything. And another lie. They lie to you that, you know what, we will edit your diets according to your DNA and according to your blood group. Hey! Your great-grandfather did not even know blood groups. But he chased an antelope. Now they'll tell you, don't eat red meat, because red meat is a problem. Specifically you who has O negative. O negative. You have O negative. Why are you eating red meat? I tell them, hey. Please. I even lied to you that I'm O negative. I am now O positive. Can I eat red meat? Go ahead and eat red meat and make it fatty. You put a hand on things and they tell you are deficient in vitamin K and vitamin D and magnesium and calcium. Now you have calcium supplements, you have vitamin D supplements, plus vitamin K2 supplement, plus CoQ10. Because you put a palm on a machine. And now they tell you, we have to edit your diets according to your blood group. Your blood group O. Blood group O's are not supposed to eat pork. Blood group O's are not supposed to eat chicken with the skin. Did your doctor tell you that? No. And the same person who is selling you those supplements is obese as crazy. Seated there having difficulties in breathing, having joint pains. But he's selling you this supplement. And then when you come back, because they know you'll come back after a month. When you come back after that month, what do? They tell you, oh, you know what? It's not working. Please take another one. You see, there's a new one in town that has this combination of this and this and this. And you know what? Take it in the evening. The other one, you're taking it in the morning. That was the mistake. It's not supposed to be taken before the sun comes up. So now you have to take it in the evening when the sun is setting. And you guys are very funny. You will take a supplement that is worth 40,000. Take a whole month and 2 months of the supplement, paying 40,000 every month. It is not even working. You're actually putting up so much weight. But you don't even ask questions when you go back. The only thing you do is to change the company that supplies you. You now move from the BF to the whatever, the new one. You move from this QT to that LQ. You know what I mean, right? So yours, the supplement is not the problem. Possibly the company was the problem. So now you change the company and still get the same supplements. How can you do the same things over and over and expect different results? How? Don't you even read? So be that person who asks questions. I've told you, some of those people have used my programs to lose weight, and then they've used their photos to actually sell you those supplements. Imagine that. So they are so lenient. They come in, they do a consultation, a physical consultation for that matter. They are very serious about it. They join the weight loss programs, a 3-month program. They lose weight, and then they take photos. And because they're working for those companies, the supplement companies, they use those photos to show you, oh, this is how I lost belly fat by applying this supplement in the morning and the evening on the tummy. There's no supplement that can burn you fat. You're just eating the wrong diets. Therefore, change the diets. You're practicing wrong agriculture. Therefore, change the agriculture. Go back to where you came from. Go back to crop rotation. Go back to using manure. You see that? Go back to using ashes as pesticides. It's not, hii si ushamba. Na kama ni ushamba is a good one. If ushamba is going to save your health, why not? Why not? And modern agriculture has made us very lazy. Imagine something that we used to do, like even in Kericho, picking just the tea leaves was making people active and doing these things all through by their hands. By the time you fill up that basket, you've taken a whole hour picking the leaves, the tea leaves. But now there's a machine that only 2 people come in and hold the sides, and by about an hour, they've done a whole farm. So therefore, 2 out of now the 30 that were in that farm are fit. The rest, obesity is coming in. Obesity is coming in. And they are waiting for you. The same people who brought you these modern technologies in agriculture, they are waiting for you. They just know in the next 7 years, oh, these guys have embraced this technology, well done. The media has done its part, well done. Tip the media. Oh, tip the government, support the governments. So they've bought our machines, well done. Now what next? Let's sit back. Let's give them about 7 years. And let's wait them in the big pharma. Tell the doctor to sell them the fear. The doctor sells you the fear successfully, and then he's seated there knowing that you will come back because you are now afraid. Let's sell them the pesticides and the herbicides. Let them get hormonal imbalances. Their women will be stressed up like crazy. The family unit will break. And when the family unit breaks, when the men become weaker because of exposure to estrogen, they are now feminine. Now we can dictate them. We can actually convince them that, you know what, you people are not men. You people are female. You are lied to. You are trapped in a body that is not yours. Sell them another agenda. Let them get more depressed and more weak. And through that, we can actually use their politicians to make laws, because these are weak men. They can't resist those laws. And the same weak men are seated in the parliaments. All they do is shout. They're not passing rules, and they're sleeping, and they just clap and stampede when somebody says something that is actually funny. In the parliament, no rules are being passed there. If it's a rule being passed there, it's actually funded by either the big pharma or the food industry, or even the agriculture industry. All right? So be very cautious. When you're doing these things, be very open-minded. Always ask questions. All right? Yes. So next is GMO. Now, we never had a problem with GMO. We never had a problem with GMO. I don't even have a problem with genetically modified organisms. The only issue I have is, why GMO? Why? The question is why? Why? Are we so lazy we can't produce food, so that one person is supposed to produce massive foods for all of us? But if all of us, and you know, the problem is we've been conditioned to think agriculture is for the old people. Farming is for the old people. So we are constantly thinking that, let me wait, I'm a teacher, I have to retire. When teachers retire, they are given a wheelbarrow plus gumboots plus a djembe so that they go and start farming in their 60s. Where are they going to get the energy to farm in their 60s? That's what happens when somebody retires. They're given a wheelbarrow. You're told, now enda uanze ukulima. You go and start your farming now at 60. Where is the energy at 60? So we've been conditioned to think farming is for the old people. Only to realize later, oh, it's actually encouraging everybody. Even the youth can actually do farming. So the same people who lie to you must get to 60 to start farming, because farming is now an alternative to when you're just going into old age. It's a retirement plan. They're the same people who have made you a slave because you have to depend on them for food supply. You see that? They have made you a slave because you have to depend on them for food supply. Thank you, McKenna. Yes, they create a problem, then they sell you a solution. That solution is actually a new problem. I really pity people who are on statins. You see, people who are on statins, they really believe the lie that, you know, cholesterol is going to clog your arteries and cause you heart attacks. So the doctor sold you that lie. And then when they sold you that lie, the same doctor came with the solution in form of a statin. So you thought this is a solution. But imagine the 7 side effects of statins, the common 7 side effects. All of them have a different drug. So the doctor sold you a solution that actually created 7 more problems to give you 7 more other solutions. Sell them the fear. Tell them a heart attack is a serious problem and you will die. A stroke will kill you. And this stroke is not because you're eating sugar. No. The stroke is because of cholesterol. So stop eating cholesterol and then take this drug to lower cholesterol in your system. And then get these 7 side effects, and it will give you 7 more drugs to actually fix the side effects of this one drug. And each drug is coming with different side effects. Therefore, that's how we end up with 30 drugs on one prescription. Doc, here in diaspora, everything here is trash. Tabutupu is true. People in diaspora are just eating products. And a country like America, it has made it so hard for you to eat organic foods. It is very expensive to eat organic foods in the United States of America. But they're the same people who actually have a hand in nutrition guidelines. The American Heart Association is the one that actually dictates the guidelines on treatment of heart disease. The country that has 40% obese people is the country that dictates on how people in Africa should be lean. The country that supplies us with fertilizer and GMO seeds, and they tell us, oh, you know what, through Monsanto, oh, you know what, this is the best seeds. They've been studied deeply. I'm like, there's no seed that has been studied. You didn't study anything. Science did not identify or actually invent anything. Science just reported what has been there every time. Science did not invent anything. Discover what? This has been here all through. The only difference is the scientists documented it. So let's go back to the roots. In terms of diets, do anything else modernized. But in terms of diets and how you live your life in terms of health, go back to what your grandfather used to do. Go back and observe what Maasais do. Whatever a goat does not eat, they will not take. So GMO, the problem is the seeds. And the seeds in GMO, and GMO is everywhere. And specifically the fruits. And I told you, these fruits are crazy. How can we put a fruit on a shelf and it stays there for 2 weeks, it's not going bad? How can a fruit just ripen all through and it looks very yellow but with a very green stem? How can a fruit not have seeds that can actually regrow? How can a fruit lack fiber? How can a fruit be so sweet and so juicy and very appealing? It actually looks like it has been applied some wax. It's glassy. Don't you think you're being conned? It doesn't even attract flies, not even birds. Which fruit is that? Which fruit is that? And tomatoes are actually a crime here, because tomatoes will look very ripe from outside, but you cut the tomato into half and see what is happening inside that tomato. Whoa! You will see a very hard thing in between, and it's actually unripe from inside. So your tomatoes are looking so fresh because they are from the greenhouse. So fresh in your kitchen. Give them 1 week, they're still very fresh. Give them 2 weeks, they're still very fresh. You're like, ah! Try to remove the fruit, the seeds from inside and just dry them and then try to plant them. Nothing is happening. Yes, fruit is true. And Dimbo, fruits actually works to extend shelf life. Actually, GMOs designed to, 1, increase the size so that it appeals to you to buy them. And number 2, to increase the shelf life. Same thing to processing, right? Nowadays, a watermelon looks so green and you cut it in between, it is so fresh, and when somebody puts it in the refrigerator and then it accumulates that icing part, and then he ties, these people who sell these fruits know, they tie it in a plastic bag and they refrigerate it. When it comes out, oh, your mind just records, I want this watermelon. And then it's red. So somebody decided to lie to you that because it's red, it actually tops up on your blood levels. It's actually so good in terms of what? Hypertension. You've been binging on watermelons all through, from the time you discovered that. Have you gotten better? Why are you still on medication for hypertension? GMO is crazy, my friends. We want seeds that regrow. We can use them over and over. So preserve those organic and traditional seeds. There was this maize cobs, the maize that used to have different colors. Purple, brown, white, yellow, and all that. Very beautiful cob. Just look at the maize and you're like, this is what I want. Nowadays the maize, in my language we call it omwaya. When you roast maize, there's that taste of roasted maize. You just want to eat that maize again. It's called omwaya in Luya. Omwaya or omwayo, one of the two. Shuya, right? But nowadays you roast maize and you just try to eat it. No taste at all. You're like, now you put it aside, you go to the next one. Zero. You're like, how many maize am I going to roast? A whole farm to just get one with mwaya and shuya? Chumvi. Salt comes in handy to save people. Ah, that's so crazy. Yes, at DK314. Exactly. The maize, now the pack is written on DK314. This is the best. You plant them, they produce the two cobs on one maize plant. One maize plant. We have two. You're like, I'm excited. This is the best. Hey, wacha uvune alafu ujaribu kupanda tena. Zero. Now you're like, so you have to go back to them to purchase another bag. Somebody's asking, Doc, have you ever been overweight? Where? Go and check my Facebook page. You'll be so surprised. Where? 102 kgs, my friend. Then I lost it to about 68. I had everything, including my mother. My mother was like, daktari, Mungu amekupea kazi mzuri na wewe sasa hata utaki. Yeah, at that time she was expecting wajukuu. Like, now it's time for you to give me wajukuu. I had this you know that kanyama here. There's this kanyama hapa nyuma. When the rich people, when they do this, they have this kanyama here. And a good pot belly. And a double chin. Hey, like a round face there and hey, sometimes I look at those photos, I'm like, hey, hizi nazo hata ukipost at TBT. Yeah. Labda nizitumie ku market weight loss programs. I lost from about 5 months, from 102 to 68. I looked so skinny. And that time I used to have a cloth line. So I used to sell clothes in 𝗵𝗔𝗧𝗛𝗛. Those who don't know. Sijaanza biashara juzi. So I used to sell clothes at 𝗵𝗔𝗧𝗛𝗛. Brothers and sisters, I would take clothes size, I think size, because I was size 40. So I'd go back with size 36. I traveled to Mombasa. Before a week ends, I'm again down. I need to go back for another one. I'm like, where? Unapunguza shati mpaka mkono, mfuko inaenda kwa mfuko ya shati inaenda huko kwa makwapa. So I decided, let me just wait until where I get the end, then I'll do something different. So I lost that weight and my mother was so upset about it. At some point, I believed my mother when she said, you must be depressed. And because you're working in Mombasa, Fatuma, you must have stepped on a wire. Fatuma must have done that thing. I'm like, Fatuma, and I'm just losing weight under your watch. All right, wacha Fatuma afanye mambo yake. So it got into my head and I decided, you know what? I need to impress. I need now to impress people who are actually telling me I'm depressed. How can a doctor be going this way? You must be unhealthy. So I decided I will restock my refrigerator with sausages, smokies, and queen cakes, and mala, maziwa mala. My friend, I used to eat about 6 to 8 sausages every day to just put up weight, to please people. So I know your struggle. When I talk about weight loss, I know your struggle. I understand why you're not consistent. I understand it's not your fault that you really want to please people and you want to be validated. When you lose weight, you start looking this bony and these facial bones are showing, your neck bones are showing, and people start telling you you must be depressed. What is happening to you? This program, no, please don't do this program again. And then your husband starts telling you, you know what, I liked you when you were thick, when you had thick thighs, because when it's a cold weather, I used to feel good. And now you buy the idea. Some of them will tell you, actually friends to your husband will tell you, you know what, hey, madam, hey, you know, for us, where I come from, the Luo land or Luya land, we know men don't eat bones. Bones are for dogs. When you hear bones are for dogs, and you're now looking bony, you log into Dr. Lewis to give you some motivation, but you're logging in as you eat popcorn and biscuits. Just grow fat again. So it was crazy. But the beautiful thing about it is doable. Once you just overcome those false identities, you will not submit to anybody. Okay? Yeah, you'll keep moving. Anyway, so GMO I've told you. And there's a way you can actually identify GMO in the market. There's a way you can actually identify this one is a GMO, and I'll tell you at the end of this program. So now you've taken all these useless and nutrient-less foods from agriculture, marketed to you through the media, and now it's taken into the food industry for processing and ultra processing. Now that's where the problem comes in now. Because now from the farm to the food industry to your mouth, that is what we call food science. That is where the mess came in. Okay, that's where the mess came in. So I want you to just see how we compare the traditional ways and the modern ways of agriculture. The traditional ways, we used to go to the farm to farm ourselves. We used to go to dig. Therefore, we were active. There was an activity. Now they've made you lazy. Now there are machines that are replacing you. So therefore, level of activity has gone to zero. Number two, traditionally we used to use very simple tools, a djembe, a panga, very simple tools, a slasher, very simple tools. Now you have very complicated machineries, and they have to be operated by somebody who has a brain. So farming now, you must have this brain that is coming from the West. You don't need traditional brains, no. Another one, animal power was very necessary those days. We used to use the ox to cultivate land, so it was so muscular. You see that? But nowadays, machines again. Traditionally, we used to use crop rotation. Nowadays, it's just monoculture. You just do one crop. Look at those differences. And then you tell me, oh, my grandfather lived for 90 days, for 90 years, and he ate sugar. He ate sugar, but he used to go to the farm the whole day with a cup of porridge plus a sweet potato. You are there taking all the wheat, all the margarine and the seed oils, all the sugars, and you sit in an office rotating in a chair like this one the whole day. You're not the same. You're actually ashamed. And your grandfather is actually tossing in that grave when he hears you saying, oh, my grandfather, yet there's nothing you're doing that is actually the same to what he used to do. So you are actually a disgrace to the lineage of your grandfather. Oh, you should see fat people coming after me. Oh, you know, my grandfather was big. We are big people in our family. I'm just like, okay, no problem. I didn't impose my will on you. You do you. Do what you want. Mine is to suggest and show you the light. Previously, natural composting or composting methods were used. We used manure. Nowadays, we must buy fertilizer that comes in to destroy the ecology. Traditionally, we used to rely on the rain patterns to show that, oh, when the rain is there, we're now planting. So we used to study and understood the rain patterns. Nowadays, we don't need to study any rain patterns. What we do is we simply have to irrigate the farms and then put in some chemicals to leach out and kill microorganisms in the soil, destroying the ecology again. So the traditional ways of farming were promoting biodiversity, but the modern ones are actually destroying biodiversity. We used to actually do crop rotation. This time it's maize, the next time it's something else. But now it's either maize or wheat, just one crop. And therefore the patterns of weeds and the patterns of pests is now very predictable. So they come and destroy this. And now there's need for us to actually buy the pesticides and the herbicides. So it's a whole setup of problems. Oh, in our farms, we used to dig a very big hole to just pour there the cow dung, pour there the remains of grass in the cow sheds, pour there everything. And even the maize stems that we've cut in the farm, we used to put it in that hole. They decompose naturally, and we will use this as fertilizer. Nowadays, if it's not coming from the industry, it's not coming from the government, we are complaining. Serikali, tunataka mbolea. Serikali jatupea mbolea. Serikali, then later on, serikali tupatia mchanga. We are always playing victims. So number one, buy land, save and buy land. Every single resource you have, save it and buy land so that you buy your freedom from over-reliance to the government. And by the way, did you know, for pests and herbs, and weeds, our old people used to use tobacco to control pests. Did you know that? Tobacco leaves, and sometimes you'll find our old mzee have planted tobacco in the farm to just control the pests. Did you know that? But then the British came in and built a factory in Kenya for cigarettes and then banned people from planting nicotine. And then they said, you know what? Nicotine as a pure substance is a crime. But you can smoke it in our cigarettes. Same nicotine that we are telling you, don't cultivate it, don't do this, don't have this nicotine. It's the same nicotine that is actually in their cigarettes, but they are telling you, don't worry. Our cigarettes have nicotine, but that one is a safe one. Aye. Chili pepper was used to actually control pests. Did you know that? Ashes were used to spray the ash, and pests die and disappear. Some of them did not even die, they just disappeared because they didn't like the ash. They disappear. There were plants that were grown together with the maize and the beans to actually control the pests. On the herbicides, manual weeding was just being done. We used to go to the farm and do manual weeding, just remove the weeds. And then tunapalilia. You remember those things? Or you people were born the other day, you don't know these things? Eh? There's something that was called cover cropping. I know you don't know that. Do you? What is cover cropping? Hello? What is cover cropping? Class from the back bench. What is cover cropping? Oh, you came in when agriculture, SARS and agriculture had been withdrawn, right? You can't tell these things. You can't. Yeah? Did you ever do the slashing? Did you ever burn the weeds? Just collect them and burn them in the same farm? Did you do that? Oh, where you are? Do you know what mulching is? Mulching. Did you do these things? Mulching, where you just simply plant a small piece of land with some crops, and then you take leaves and grass and put it on the floor, on the soil, to cover the soil, the surfaces where there is no plants. You cover it with grass or some leaves, so that it preserves the moisture, so that we don't even rely on the rain. We have moisture being preserved in the ground, and also it prevents the growth of herbs and the weeds. Did you do that? Yes, to preserve moisture in the soil. Where did that thing go to? Now we have to irrigate using those pipes, and then we put in antibiotics, we put in chemicals and fertilizers that destroy the entire ecology. Hey, my friend, life is so simple, and it was very beautiful. It is still very beautiful if you take control. If you take control, it's very beautiful. So the traditional fruits, for those of you who love fruits, traditional fruits were seasonal. There's no way you would find a fruit in season the whole year. Nowadays, mangoes and watermelons and pineapples and apples are in season the whole year. Where are they coming from? Number two, they were not rich in fructose. They were not rich in sugars. The modern fruits, the only thing they have is fructose. The vitamins have been removed because they're not essential. They're not going to sell for the pharmaceutical companies and for the food industries. But remember, the food industry and the pharmaceutical companies are in bed. So the food industry feeds the problem, the pharmaceutical industry provides the fake solution, which is actually another new problem. All in all, they benefit from you. So fruits were seasonal. They did not have fructose as much. So some of them were bitter. They were not as sweet as they are. They did not appear so sexy as sweet fruits appear right now. Not glassy. They were not as big. They were wild. They were not cultivated. You would eat a guava here, and then you poop in a bush, and there are more guavas coming up. But I saw guavas are now even genetically modified and are actually planted in a greenhouse. Guavas. Wamefikia guavas. Aye. Fruits will go bad. They will not have an even color when they are ripe. No, they will not. They will have different colors with spots. They will attract even birds and flies. By the time those mangoes are getting ripe, there's a bird in Luya that is called 𝗓𝗓𝗓 with a very long tail. Yeah, a very dangerous bird. It will be there poking the fruits all before you even know there's a fruit here. 𝗓𝗓𝗓 is there doing its thing. Some call it a safe way. They are there doing its thing. Nowadays, you plant a fruit, birds don't even want that fruit. They would rather go fly and eat something else, the worms there, but not the fruit. And then you would eat a mango and you're busy removing the whole afternoon, trying to remove the fiber from your teeth. Nowadays, embedodo, they don't even have fiber. The only thing that is left in a fruit nowadays is sugar. And then fruits used to ripen on themselves. There was a plant that we used to use to ripen bananas. I can't remember the name of that plant. We used to take the leaves and then we put it on top of bananas as we put them in a basket or something where there's some warmth, and then they ripen naturally. That plant is still in Kisii. I think I'll find it, the name. Still in Kisii. But nowadays they are using calcium carbide. Calcium carbide is a cancer-causing agent, but it's used to ripen the fruits. They are using industrially processed and made ethylene. Now remember, ethylene is the natural gas that is used to actually ripen fruits. It's a natural ripening agent for fruits. Okay? But ethylene gas that is industrially made is going to mimic the natural ethylene, but this is industrially made. It is actually the reason why children are having a lot of respiratory tract problems. And how many of your children are eating fruits? Oh, you know fruits have vitamin. My child loves bananas. My child has to eat an apple a day because an apple a day will keep a doctor away. I repeat, that apple a day for 1 year, it will keep me near you for a lifetime. For a lifetime. So choose you. There's another gas in the industries that is actually used now to ripen fruits, specifically mangoes and bananas and apples. It is called ethylene. Ethylene is a gas that is converted to ethylene. Remember, ethylene is the natural one that is used to ripen fruits, right? The natural one. So this ethylene breaks down to ethylene. But this ethylene has a problem. Respiratory tract problems, asthma to be specific, skin and allergies, eczema to be specific, and kidney failure, plus it fries the brain. So as you look at that banana, so yellow with a green stalk, you're actually taking in so much poison. It's a GMO one. It's actually ripened, not natural ripening. It's actually artificial ripening. Problems. And to just warn you totally, the calcium carbide, it comes with impurities. The industrially made calcium carbide comes with arsenic and phosphine. These are two impurities, and they are known to cause mood disruption. They are causing neurological disorders. They are causing memory loss and dementia. And then they are causing cancers and multiple organ damage. That is calcium carbide. What is used to ripen your fruits? Banana ripening warehouse in Europe. Imagine a whole warehouse to ripen bananas so that it feeds the industry, it feeds your appetite. You are so addicted to dopamine, which comes in as a result of you consuming fructose. That's why they put so much fructose in the bananas, in the GMO bananas. That's why they put fructose in the processed foods. Because the moment you eat that, fructose spikes your dopamine release. You release hits of dopamine. And now those dopamine hits are going that cause you food addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction. All addictions are coming in as a result of dopamine production. Dopamine addiction is a crazy one. You see, when you go to TikTok and you're busy just scrolling from up to down, by the time you're thinking of coming out, 2 hours are gone. That is dopamine addiction. You see, you watching news and getting so angry about your politician not making any statements in parliament. That is dopamine addiction. So some of you will break a neck to just be home at 9 to watch a show on a television. Football, dopamine addiction. Gambling, dopamine addiction. Constantly chasing a thrill. So you must fix this. And then the food industry has actually made it even bad or worse. It masks the foods with a very artificial flavor and taste using MSG. So when you're taking those cubes, those spicy cubes that taste like chicken, that is MSG. When you're eating that crispy chicken at KFC, at McDonald's, at Chicken Inn, you're basically taking in MSG, cancer causing. When you're going to the hotels and ordering soup, oh, you know I love soup from this hotel. Oh, you know I love pumpkin soup from this hotel. It's actually masked. There's no taste there for pumpkin. All that is MSG that masks your taste buds. You can't taste it in natural forms. You can't taste it in natural forms. Yes, somebody is saying saucy and Indomie. All that is MSG. And when you read the ingredients, last slide we said, be careful when you're reading the ingredients, because even the labels, they lie on the labels. They use codes on the labels. So when you're taking that soup from that hotel, and you're thinking this hotel has the best soup, that is MSG. When you're taking that chicken that is so crispy, have you ever tried to remove that crispy part of the chicken, that crispy part, that crunchy part, and then try to eat the chicken without that, and then just allow the chicken to actually go cool? Because the MSG tastes better when it's hot. Oh, hot sauce. Very interesting. But you go and buy that chicken, remove that crispy part and put aside, and then put it there to let it just cool, and then try to eat that chicken. You will know what you've been eating. Quick, fast, you will know what you've been consuming. It's just that soda. Open it up, allow it to just decarbonate, and then put it there to just cool down. Let it gain some heat, a little bit just warmth. Because soda is so awesome. That black soda is so awesome when it's cold and sweating. But make sure you remove the carbon, the CO2 in the soda, allow it to cool, and let it just catch some warmth. Let it stop sweating, and then try to take that soda. You will know what you've been taking. That's why you're told a cold soda is awesome. And then you take it cold because your salivary glands are just producing saliva and producing this appetite for it. And then it's called the epigastric stage. Your pancreas and your gastric wall is producing these gastric juices that send you into an appetite to eat. You drink the soda, you feel good, you belch, and you feel nice. Allow it to just catch some heat. Allow it to just remove the CO2, and then tell me if you will drink that soda. Eh? Let the chicken from that company, just let it cool down and then eat it. Do you know why they serve you hot? Because MSG at its peak. Ukira Yvonne says, especially the banana, you harvest and then they dip them in some solution. They pack them in crates and they ripen after 3 days. Sad affair, that one. Imagine, 3 days, a banana is already ripe. Do you know what we used to do to avocados? You know, I like taking it to my younger self. We would wait for avocado for a whole year. So there was a tree for avocados near our school, Mphuya Primary School. Those who know that school, shout out to that school. There was a tree for avocados there. Now, we would go and we would wait for a whole year to get an avocado from this tree. So when the avocados are here now, we are waiting patiently. The tree flowers, we are just patient. Brings avocados. And now, because the teachers were so harsh, you can't climb the tree. You wait until the avocados fall. So sometimes we go there and throw some sticks, they come down. Now it comes down, it's raw, it's still not ripe. So what do? You must make sure that this avocado ripens in 1 day. So those days when there's a hot sun, you simply hit the avocado, you hit the avocados multiple times, then you put it on the sun. So every time you're coming to check, is it really ripe? Is it imeiva? By the time you're eating it, you don't want an avocado again. It's just tasting weirdly. We used to even eat raw pawpaws because we've waited a whole year to just see a pawpaw. So you don't even want to eat that pawpaw again. Now you're there, just the white part, you're eating raw pawpaw, and then that milky part makes your mouth swell. And you receive a beating for that. Now you have to wait for pawpaws again the next year. So there was no time that you would simply eat pawpaws the whole year. Avocados the whole year. Hey, these people just lie to us like crazily. And when you try to rely on the government, so let me tell you the institutions that actually set you up. One is your government. Number 2 is the food industry. Number 3 is our regulatory bodies. KEBS. I call KEBS out on this one. Kenya Bureau of Standards. I think this is one of the most corrupt institutions in this country. This is an organization that is supposed to protect the interests, the health interests of the population, of the citizens. But they don't have even a stand. There's another one that is called the National Quality Control Laboratory that is supposed to test every substance that is coming in before it's allowed to even go to KEBS, and then now it's supplied into the government, into the country. Have you ever heard of that lab? Or are you hearing it for the first time? The National Quality Control Laboratory. Have you ever heard of it? We have one. A big one. But all they do is just sit there and now take the samples for very small things so that they can actually use them. Tuwatumie kama mfano. A whole National Quality Control Laboratory. What does it test? What does it even do? Just waiting for promotions, government promotions and a salary. So shameful. So our government, schools that have actually brought a lot of issues and conditioning, the big pharma, the food industry, regulatory bodies, these are things, and then hospitals. And now your doctor, the one who actually cements the conditioning. Now, remember this, that all those regulatory bodies and the government and all those that I've just mentioned, they are not responsible for your health. You are supposed to take care of your health. You are the one who is supposed to take care of your health. Do not rely on the government to come in and help you. No, it will not. Because the government is not here to help you. The government is here to serve its own interests. Right? Amazing. Good. So I repeat again, I have a platform on YouTube right now. We are doing a live on that one. It's called Health and Wellness Spot. If you're on TikTok and you've not followed me on this page, please press the plus on that on my profile there. Press that plus, follow us. You'll get free content and you'll feel good about it. Free content, we bring it out as raw as it needs to be. On YouTube, it's Health and Wellness Spot. We do a show on YouTube live every Monday at 8:30 Kenyan time, 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time. We have another platform on YouTube that we will meet on Friday. So I have 2 shows in a week. I have a show on Monday at 8:30 on this platform, the main channel on YouTube called Health and Wellness Sports. And then I have a second channel that teaches you identities, how to fix your mind, how to fix anger and emotions and overcome these false identities. Basically a spiritual fellowship program that we do on Friday at 8:30 until late night. Oh, you cannot miss out on that. That's free therapy. Right? If you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're trying to live in the future that you don't even have, if you think you're broke, come to that platform on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time. That platform on YouTube, it's called Uncle Chile. So go there and search Uncle Chile and simply subscribe to that channel. It's a very, very beautiful channel. Okay? And then we have merchandise that we are selling, fermented cabbages, roasted coffee, we have activated charcoal, we have t-shirts, we have mugs, we have water bottles that will have our logo. Very beautiful stuff. This merchandise are at Imenti House, 2nd floor, shop number 60. The gentleman there called Brian Omwenga. Brian is a very good gentleman. He will serve you diligently. And this contact is 0701 354 997. So 0701 354 997. I'll put it here again, so somebody can put it on TikTok. 0701 354 997. Give that gentleman a call. He will organize on how you get your merchandise. Okay? God bless you for your information, Doc. It really helps. Thank you so much, Stana. I appreciate, brother. And thank you for gifting us. I appreciate, man. All right. And then we have 0707 07 4722. That is a contact that you should use to book your appointment for both physical and online consultations. Online consultations are happening every evening from 6 all the way to about 8 p.m. before we do any other thing. So once I get from work, I come here, I do these consultations. Nyawira, thank you so much for putting Brian Omwenga's contact there, and thank you, Tim Kekeli, for putting up the consultation contact there. I appreciate. So those 2 contacts, one is for the merchandise, the other one is for physical and online consultations. Also, we have a weight loss program for 3 months that is starting on the 15th of this month. You can join in. This is not a weight loss program. This is where you'll be taught identities. This is where you'll be taught how to lose weight and maintain the lost weight. You'll be taught about nutrition. You'll be taught about what to eat, what to drop, why. You'll be taught about the spiritual aspect of life. You'll be taught exercises, fasting schedules, why you should fast and how to fast. You'll be in a group of people who actually will understand health every single step of it. By the time you're graduating from these weight loss programs, you are a whole different human being. A whole different human being. If any case, you'll become a doctor. So you can use the same contact, 0707074722, to join that weight loss program. And it starts on Thursday, the 15th of this month, 0707074722. So join in and let's just make your life better and better and better. Even in Kakamega, that plant is there. Yes, Karanja Logeti. I know, my friend. I know. Because I come from those sides. I come from Marcelo, my friend. We've done these things. And it's just amazing. When I was growing up, it was a beautiful life, Bana. I don't know what happened to these people. So general signs on GMO, if you're going to the market to try and purchase anything, this is what you should be careful about. If the fruit or if the tomatoes don't have a natural fragrance, natural smell or scent of tomatoes, drop them. Number 2, if they look very smooth and look like they are glassy, waxed, drop them. Number 3, if they don't attract any flies or any weevils, drop them. If they have a longer shelf life, do not even use them. If they look very fleshy and very watery, and now somebody has decided to sprinkle some water on them to look fresh, drop them. If they are always in season, avoid them. Yes, imagine that, Nyaituga. They actually wax them. They wax fruits to convince you that they're actually fresh. And then they sprinkle on some water. When you see water, you're just seeing fresh. Can you join while you're living abroad? Yes, you can join these groups when you're living abroad, because we have people who are actually outside the country that are actually joining these groups. We will work with your time frame. We do that all the time. So yes, join in. If you're from abroad, please join. Don't hesitate to join in. All right? Yes. So allow me to bring in some conversation from some of you, and then we call it a night. So this is agriculture. We'll be remaining with the media and the pharmaceutical companies. I think if we touch those ones, we are going to get in trouble. So allow me to say, hey, media and And pharmaceutical companies, poleni. Thank you. We will not talk about you. I have friends who own pharmacies, my friend. Shoot me between the eyes. I have friends who are who are deep in the media business. Like wewe gusa hiyo agriculture, lakini usijaribu kugusa. Ati hai, swali yangu umelenga. Which question, Steve? Put it across again. Wewe unajifanya wewe ni daktari, eh? Acha tupatane. Yes, with the same number. The 07 you can use the +254 707 07 47 22. The code for Kenya is 254. How do you tell it's GMO? Simply go to the markets and scan the markets. When you start going to the market instead of going to the supermarkets, you will know. One, you will see there's a difference how they ripen. And you see, a natural tomato starts to ripen from bottom all the way back to the stalk. So if you see anything that is not that way, a tomato that is not green and red at the same time, drop it. They start ripening from bottom as they come up to the stalk. That's one. Number two, if it's totally appealing to the eye, it's so bright, so calling, and it's so even in color, drop it. And then if it has, let's say a tomato that is red and the stalk is green, or a banana that is so yellow and the stalk is green, drop it. It's artificially ripened. If you see where you're going to, just the same way you go to the butchery and you don't see flies, don't buy meat in that butchery. The same way you go to the markets and you don't see flies and weevils at the place that they are being sold, do not buy those fruits. Don't buy those tomatoes. Thank you, Stana. I appreciate, man. Thank you for the gift. Those of you who have gifted us, I appreciate, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for you've kept us going. Those of you who have sent us super chats and M-Pesa text messages to just say thank you, we appreciate all of you. Asanteni sana. Okay? Yeah. Good. So yes, if you just simply buy oranges and you realize they don't have any fiber, please drop them. But you see, by the time you're realizing they don't have fiber, it means you've bought them to eat them. So we don't do fruits here. So whatever we're focusing on is the tomatoes. And if you have a small kitchen garden, start planting the tomatoes on your own. Okay? Amazing Doc, watching live from Afya Nursing Home. Regard Hassan, Northern Tube. Amazing, Hassan. Oh, amazing, amazing. Shout out to Afya Nursing Home in Moyale. It's a beautiful place. Beautiful. Amazing. Oh, thank you, man, for coming through. Some of these tomatoes are black from the inside. And when you cut there, they spill some water. Yes, Mudoni. That is actually crazy. You know, you can put a tomato on the shelf. It takes 2 weeks. And it doesn't go bad. What it does is the skin shrinks. The upper surface of it starts to shrink. And then you cut it in. It doesn't have the water and stuff, but you'll see the seeds have actually accumulated around the center. And then it's still unripe in the inside. But from outside it looks very big and just, so agriculture has actually messed us up. If we go back to traditional agriculture, we will be awesome. Dr. Alice Africa is in the building. Hello, Dr. Alice, how are you? Thank you so much for coming through, Dr. Alice. It's amazing to have you on board. Oh, tomatoes are crazy, man. And by the way, do you know there are fruits that are called mizabibu, the vine naitwaje? Mzabibu ni which one? Oh, kuna zambarau, mizabibu ndo vine, ndio. So you have the mizabibu or mizabibi, whatever. And then we have the zambarau. We used to eat zambarau until we swallow the seeds, and then we were lied to that, you know what, if you continue eating these zambaraus and swallowing the seeds, the tree will now grow on your head. We used to believe that. Nikimeza, nikimeza mbegu ya zambarau, I'll have a tree here. Yeah? Do we have GMO eggs? Trust me, you leave alone even GMO eggs. Do you know that there are eggs that are fortified? Do you know there are eggs that are fortified? At now an egg is fortified with vitamin E. I think my ears will bleed. One day my eyes will just bleed when I read these things. At an egg, you go into a supermarket and there are fortified eggs in one shelf. Fortified eggs. Like an egg that is supposed to have all nutrition that is needed for the growth of a chick, now it is fortified with vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin D. I'm like, when did unajua the Kenyan market, and don't ask me how I know this. The alcohol in the Kenyan market sometimes is not what is in that bottle, what is on the label. So they simply withdraw the alcohol, or they take the bottles and then they inject some 𝗙𝗏, or 𝗙𝗏 is our local brew in Kenya. They use syringes and needles to inject some of this alcohol in these bottles so that it's cheap and they make money from it. So some of the alcohol that people take in Kenya is not alcohol. It's actually formaldehyde and all these toxic chemicals. That's why they go blind sometimes in Murang'a and all these areas. And then they cover it. There's a way they just do these things that you can't even tell. It's a very aggressive tribe in Kenya. They do these things, okay? So, so imagine an egg. You're busy trying to fortify. Hey. One day I'll come and report how they fortify an egg. I will report to you how they I will actually do it practically, how they fortify an egg. I'm on to that program. Going to just see how they're doing this thing. I hope they don't realize. This is Dr. Leaves, right? Oh, tawe. Hey, yakata. Tawe. Who's way? Tawe. Fortified eggs. Let me bring in some conversations. A lot of organizations in Kenya that are just doing the craziest things ever. And this is happening all over. Because by the time it's coming to Kenya, trust me, it's all over. The Northern Tube is saying there's this notion that goes around. Watermelon seeds increases sperm counts. What do you say about this? Hey, listen, what kills sperm count is not taking watermelon seeds. You see, that's the notion. That if you eat watermelon seeds, you will increase sperm count. But it's not because you're not eating watermelon seeds that cause you a low sperm count. What causes you a low sperm count is low testosterone levels that are brought about by you not eating fatty meats and cholesterol, by you taking statins, all right, by you eating sugars, by you being zero activity, by you watching these feminine programs and reading feminine books. So all this is actually coming into lower testosterone levels by you eating 2 eggs in a week instead of eating 8 eggs in a day. So therefore you're not feeding testosterone. It's a hormone that comes from cholesterol. So there's no seed, whether pumpkin seeds or watermelon seeds, there's no seed that is going to raise your sperm count. If you're still eating the same things, trust me, like for the pumpkin seeds, they have high content of zinc, and zinc is very necessary in production and activation of testosterone. Therefore, pumpkin seeds can actually subsequently increase sperm count. But imagine eating pumpkin seeds to stop yourself with zinc, to make you produce testosterone to give you the sperm count, but still eating sugars, taking alcohol, using seed oils, consuming wheat products, processed foods, the GMO foods, the glyphosates, the plant-based proteins, aka cereals that come with phytoestrogens, using non-stick pans, using air fryers that are coated with Teflon, which actually mimic estrogen. Now you have low testosterone and high estrogen. You become more of a woman than a man. And now you are taking the pumpkin seeds or the watermelon seeds to fix the problem. It cannot happen. So therefore it's a lie. And I like reading a lot. Which ones are the feminine books? Hey. Hey. Is that book still here? Where did I put that book? A book that's called... Where is that book? Oh, yeah. Brother, there's this book, for those of you who like this book, a very useless book. Very useless book. It is a book that actually teaches women how to use their organ to get men's attention. So if you're interested in that, please go and read that. Is the power of what? Hey, I think we should finish this show. Okay, how much is the weight loss program? Simply use that contact to consult and ask those questions. Okay, here's the power of that. Go and read that book and see how far you can go with that. Never buy kienyeji eggs in Nairobi. Most are from those large-scale farms that are into hatching chicks and artificially. Yes, you see, whatever is happening in Nairobi is whatever is happening in food industries. They will lie to you. Oh, you know, these are kienyeji eggs. You know, these are kienyeji. You see how they look? You see, they have even the what? The stool from the chicken. They will even apply stool from chicken on those eggs and lie to you. You see, this is kienyeji, right? And then you buy them. Once you buy them, you realize, oh. Eh? Invite some guests, please. So who is here? Nyamira, are you there? Nyawira, are you there? Because I'm intending to invite some guests. Okay, all right. Yeah, amazing. So don't fall for the lie. That's the beauty of this channel. We tell you what is there so that you can actually have the information. How comes you have the book, you reform? No, I didn't reform. You see, this was curiosity. So I bought this book out of curiosity. I was like, okay. And you see how you read a book, and then that book refers you to another book. When you start reading books, you'll understand. When you read a book, that there's always a new book coming in from that book, okay? So this was a referral, and out of curiosity, I went and bought it. And then the first pages, I was like, maybe there's something here. And remember, I ran a show that is called Identity Fridays on Uncle Chile, so I must have this information. So yeah, that's how I do it. I read this book in about 4 days. And I didn't read because I liked it. I just read to finish it to know how far I can go with it. Dawe. Yakota. Yes, Nyawira.
Hello, hi Doc.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well.
Yes.
How about you?
All is well, and we thank God for life.
Thank you for inviting me.
Karibu sana.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's much more of how food is related to mental health.
Yes.
Wellness and such.
Yes.
I have a relative who has a mental health condition. And then he consulted one of the nutritionists and then was advised that he can be on a ketogenic diet.
Yes.
So that he can be able to manage his mental health condition.
Yes.
But it seems like after he started the ketogenic diet, akaenda kwa that ketosis something here. So like sasa now the symptoms zikaanza kurudi tena.
Okay.
For the depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Now I was asking, is it possible to reverse the mental health conditions with like now the ketogenic diet or now the diet?
Yes, it's very possible. First things first, I want you to unlearn the fact that you're thinking that because he went to ketogenic diets, his symptoms worsened. You see, that's the problem. The problem is this guy got into depression or mental health issues without even the keto diets. So I really get surprised when you introduce somebody to keto diets and then they tell you, oh, my symptoms have worsened. I think it's because of the diets. That's a lie. Because the condition was there before the keto diets. So why are we not looking at it that way? Now, number 2, mental health issues are gut problems. For example, depression. Depression is coming in from a deficiency in a neurotransmitter called serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that comes in from an amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid that comes from red meat. Therefore, reduction of consumption of red meat is detrimental for people who are actually trying to protect themselves or prevent themselves from getting depression. It's that simple. And that's why the drugs for depression are called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. They inhibit reuptake of that neurotransmitter serotonin so that we have enough of the serotonin. So if you have a depressive state, it means you have low serotonin levels. Now, eat red meat, make it fatty. However, you cannot eat red meat and keto diets when you've not dropped the things that actually messed up your gut, because for you to actually liberate amino acids from protein, you must have a strong acid in the stomach, which means rehydration with salt and water, sometimes use apple cider vinegar, but most importantly, fasting. That is 1. Number 2, heal the gut through the same things. Fasting heals the gut, and now you can actually digest the protein, liberate the amino acids, absorb the amino acids, use the amino acids to synthesize serotonin, and now you get back to your mood. That is now dietary. So fixing the gut fixes mental health issues, because the gut and the brain They are totally related. That is one. But number two, depression is basically people living in the past. Living in the future is anxiety, living in the past is depression. Both of which are states that you don't have. Like, for example, do you have 10 minutes from now?
No.
Exactly. So you don't have the future and you don't have the past. But when you're constantly trying to live in the future and trying to live in the past, you're actually getting messed up, which means you don't have an identity. If I was the nutritionist, I would run this person through an identity session. For example, is he a man or a woman?
A man.
All right. Was he raised by both parents?
Yes.
All right. Who was the provider in this family? The father or the mother? Or both were sharing bills?
The father. Father.
All right. Who does he resemble in character? The mother or the father?
Mother.
He resembles the mother?
Yes.
All right. Does he have anger?
No.
How do you know?
Okay.
All right.
He is much of an introvert. So,
All right. Does he have anger? You said no. Does he get angry?
Yes, he gets angry.
Do you think somebody can get angry without having anger inside them?
No.
It is impossible for you to get angry without having anger inside you. So he has anger. That's why he gets angry. He identifies with the spirit of evil. Therefore, he must be taught how to overcome the nature of evil by overcoming his parents and the nature of his parents. You can imagine a man having an inside of a woman. So imagine he's a man, but he has an internal feeling of a woman, his mother. So he's basically trying to exercise the feminine nature of him. Depression is actually an emotion. And men are supposed to have control over their emotions. So therefore, this is the reason why we started Identity Fridays on Uncle Chile. So I'd like you to do this. Go and check out that platform called Uncle Chile. Actually, check out the last episode that we did on Friday. It is going to explain literally everything that you'll wish. And you'll simply practice with him. Show him, but do not impose it on him. Simply show him, and then allow him to just walk through it, and now starts to find his own identity. If he so wishes to come out of that state, it is up to him. So he will make the decision. And then from there, therapy is very important, but don't go to therapy if you've not found an identity. Yeah, so just go and check out that platform is called Uncle Chile on YouTube. And then go and check the last episode that we did about identities. You will be so amused about the information that is in that platform. And you can use that information to actually help him change. But remember, you are not here to save anybody because you're not Jesus. Your role is to point him to the direction of light and allow him to walk the path. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Depression and anxiety. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming through. These conditions are the reasons why we started the Identity Fridays. Because people are not depressed. People think they are depressed because they've been convinced to believe they are depressed. That is a false identity. And if you don't have an identity, you'll simply land on anything. That's how you end up thinking you're depressed. You're not depressed. If imagine this. If you're depressed, you're the only one who is depressed. The whole world is just moving on. So all is well. It is you who has a problem. Therefore, you must be pointed towards the direction of light. So you ladies and gentlemen on this platform, please go and check out that platform on YouTube. It's called Uncle Chile. I don't come there as Dr. Lewis. No, I come there as your uncle. I come there to whip you and point you to the direction of light. And you will love it because it's a therapy session on Fridays. Don't miss out on that platform. Amazing. And gut problems bring about... Gut problems are the reason why people have mental health issues. But above that, there's an identity crisis that has to be fixed. How do you use apple cider vinegar? Simply take a teaspoonful and put in a 500 ml of water, stir it very well to dilution, and then drink it. You can use a straw to prevent yourself from hurting your teeth. Doc, how many eggs can someone eat in a day? I remember very well, tukiwa high school, tuliambiwa, do not eat more than 2 eggs. Kindly clarified, thank you. 6 to 8 eggs as an adult, every single day, eggs plus the yolks. Eat them in plenty, brother. They are self-limiting. You cannot overeat them. So do 6 to 8 eggs if you can. You can do 6 eggs at noon and 6 eggs in the evening. Because the more the eggs, the better your health. Let me take 2 more people and then we call it a night. Yes, Bellies.
Hello. How are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I just needed some kind of advice.
Just hold on before I respond to you. I'll respond to Sir Steve. You can do boiled eggs, you can do scrambled eggs or fried eggs. As long as the one that you're scrambling and the one that you're frying, you're using ghee or butter or tallow or coconut oil. Yes, now continue. Bellies.
I had an accident last year and I had several fractures in my body. So the right hand, left hand, and the left leg, they had fractures. So when I went for the X-ray today, the progress is not that good. The bones are not developing faster. So I was asking, what kind of food can I eat to make the bones to heal faster?
What is your current body weight?
Current body weight is 80 kilograms.
And how old are you?
I'm 31 years.
Do you have a child?
Yes.
Are you on any contraceptive method?
No.
All right. Don't be on any contraceptive method to start with. That is one. Number 2, you need superfoods to actually help in bone development. And basically, you need vitamin D also, but not as a supplement, because you can get that supplement in food. So this is what you should do. 1, bone broth. Go and buy bones, boil them for about 24 to about 48 hours. And as you boil them, extract the soup and the minerals and use that bone broth to break a fast. That is 1. Number 2, go on 2 meals a day, basically 8 hours between meals. So start fasting to actually heal the gut so that you can actually absorb nutrients from the foods. Number 3, go ahead and eat red meat. All animal proteins, enjoy them, red and white, but make them fatty. If you're buying red meat, make it fatty, because the fats that are coming from that meat are going to be used to synthesize vitamin D that is going to actually supply calcium to the bones. And then start consuming fermented foods, especially the fermented cabbages, because they come with vitamin K2 that activates vitamin D. Okay? Number 4, you need to lose weight. 80 kgs is not kilograms for a woman. Women are supposed to be 70 kgs and below. 80 kgs is so much weight for a woman. All right? So lose that weight to about 72 thereabout, and then now start practicing a lot of things. And now, do you exercise?
No, I can't exercise because I'm not able to walk.
Oh, so you're always on a wheelchair?
Not always. I just try and limp. I still can't walk.
All right.
With one leg.
When did you get the accident?
December 16th.
All right. You should start now trying as much as possible to just make sure that you're moving, because when you sit down now, you put up weight. You need to actually exercise some movements or here and there. You don't have to do a long walk. Simply do a small walk around. Just make sure that your life is active to improve circulation. All right. But consume red meats, consume the bone broth, consume avocados as your only fruit, drop all other fruits. And actually, I would like you to go on my YouTube platform and check out a video that is called Diet Plan. Okay?
Yes.
There's a video on YouTube that is labeled Diet Plan. Just go and check it. Right? Diet Plan, Health and Wellness Sport. It will bring you that diet plan. Watch that video and exercise exactly what is in that video. And you're going to get better. And are you on any vitamin D and calcium supplements? Bellies, did they prescribe any calcium supplements to you?
No.
All right, that's even better. I hope that you don't take calcium supplements or vitamin D supplements. Simply go ahead and eat right foods, and then be on 2 meals a day every single day. Sometimes you can actually decide to just do 1 meal a day, at least 1 day in a week, and see how your body responds so fast, okay?
Yes, I always do 1 meal a day. Like I ate yesterday night,
yes,
and I ate today at around 4 p.m.
And do you snack?
I do 1 meal a day. No.
All right, if you're doing 1 meal...
I don't take sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're doing 1 meal a day, and then please continue with 1 meal a day and be patient with yourself. Remember, these are bones, and fractures don't just heal because you want them to heal so fast. They will take some time to heal, but you're going to get better. As long as you're doing 1 meal a day and you're eating clean, it's very good for you. You'll keep on getting better with time, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We wish you well.
Thank you.
Yeah. If there's one thing that most people are afraid of, is fractures. Crazy, man. It's crazy. Let's take one more call and then we call it a night. You know, somebody's asking a very good question. Hi, Doc, what causes geographical tongue? I'll tell you, of course, multiple vitamin deficiencies plus zinc deficiency. However, this is a multifactorial thing. You cannot handle just a geographical tongue on its own. You cannot just handle a geographical tongue as a symptom. What is wrong with you? You can't just handle a geographical tongue as a symptom. You must approach it in a holistic way. All right? So the tongue is part of your gut. Therefore, vitamin deficiencies, if you see a geographical tongue, it basically tells you have a gut mess, so you're not absorbing nutrients and minerals in it in their adequate and optimum amounts. So whether you like it or not, fasting will have to come in there. You have to drop the inflammatory foods, and then now you start eating healthy foods, and then you have to put a fast there. The geographical tongue will disappear. I don't know, I assure you. But when you just target what is causing this, and then I tell you vitamin B7 deficiency, you go ahead and buy vitamin B7 supplements, you're wasting time. You must approach it in a holistic approach. Yes, Mercy.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. My daughter ndiye amefinya hapo hivyo. Sorry.
All right, no problem. No wonder I was wondering, Mercy is talking to us and there's somebody flushing the toilet. Was it? We almost got scared. What is Mercy doing? Mercy, be careful. Unaweza choma bwana. Like, in the toilet is where the network is. As I'm downloading, Hey doctor, this is my first time joining you live. Thank you so much, Nweke Monica. What could be the cause of dizziness and what could be done, sir? Thank you. Dizziness, multiple things. Either anemia or you might have vertigo. Is little lax also in the toilet? Hey, my friend, funny. Hey, this has become a platform where people just join the live and flush the toilet. Yes, little lux. Hey. Let's also assume little lux son has decided to play with the phone. Why are you always in the toilet at 10? You people, from last Friday, everybody is in the toilet flushing toilets, left, right, and center. What is happening? Giving the last time. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the night was being talked about. We talked about. I rest my case. Yeah, is it this book that has actually brought problems or something? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking around for the last 2 hours, 15 minutes. It's been an amazing show. I thank you for being all this generous, kind, sharing gifts, sharing those M-Pesa text messages for us, and just supporting the channel. Thank you for actually purchasing our merchandise. I've seen a lot of people buying the water bottles. It's just amazing. And the t-shirts. Thank you very much. Thank you for always being here. And if you've not liked the live, please do it for the last time. I give you about 10 seconds to like the live, so that at least on YouTube we get to about 150 likes. On TikTok we can get to about 80,000 likes. We're at 75,000. So make it happen with me. Before you just call it a night, just like the live. It's very important because once you do that, it gets to reach more people. All right. If you've not subscribed on my YouTube channel, it's called Health and Wellness Sport. Go there and subscribe. Now, the next live is happening on Friday, and the channel is not Health and Wellness Sport. It is called Uncle Chile. So on YouTube, I have two platforms. We have Health and Wellness Sport, and then we have Uncle Chile. So on YouTube, we are going to see you on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time for the live, the next live, and that will be on Uncle Chile. Okay, so YouTube, I have Health and Wellness Sport and Uncle Chile. Two different platforms, two different type of content. Thank you for that. I have a platform on Telegram called Health and Wellness Sport. Join that generation. I have a platform on Facebook called Dr. Lewis Muchile. Join that platform. Also on Instagram and on X. All right. So thank you so much for all of you sticking around for all this time. You've actually made us very, very successful live. I appreciate all of you for just coming in earlier to actually wait for me, and we do this live and it's interactive and we learn something. I learn something from you, you learn something from me. I told you and I promised you I'll not stop doing these things until we have a generation of people who have the boldness to ask questions, who have proper health and they understand health from their own perspective, so that when people come to the hospital, it's just for emergency purposes and there are things that we cannot avoid. So I wish you a good night, and I hope that we can actually meet on Friday on the other platform. And may God protect you. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for being an amazing audience. And of course, you had an amazing host in the name of Dr. Lewis Muchile Obunde. See you on Friday.